All right, fourth graders, we're here to continue with Unit 4, Week 1. And remember, as always, use your pencil to begin the activity. I think we left off on talking about a reflexive pronoun is used when the subject and the object of a sentence refer to the same person or thing. So remember, we're going to have those words like the pronouns, and we're going to add self. All right, so if you remember, so if we look at that, if we go back, here is the pronoun my, her, your, them is the pronoun, but then we're going to go back and we're going to use the word self or selves. And you can see one is singular, one is plural. All right, let's go ahead and see if we can hit our targets. Circle the correct reflexive pronoun in parentheses to complete each sentence. So now here's where it comes where you're not going to memorize all this. You're going to say to yourself, does this make sense? All right. And by the way, there's a poster down here, and then it talks about subject and object pronouns just as a review. So let's go ahead and let's look at number 1. I almost hurt myself, yourself, while walking down the stairs. So this is what I would do. If I was editing my work and I need to know, are we using pronouns correctly? And is there agreement here? So first of all, I'm going to look at, excuse me, I almost hurt myself while walking down the stairs. That sounds pretty good. Let's try another one. I almost hurt yourself while walking down the stairs. Would I say that? No, because remember, I have the pronoun I here, and it has to refer because I almost hurt myself. Right? It shows that relationship. So I would make sure that I would use both of those. And then I would read both of them. So what is the correct answer? Whoops. Myself. So I should have circled myself. All right, because it makes sense. So I is referring to myself. And if you look back, excuse me, a reflexive pronoun renames the subject and the subject in a sentence. So who or what, and I could also do that again. I could make my magic S appear. You know how we do that? Because that just is amazing how we've gotten to the point where we literally will talk about finding the subject in a sentence, and it almost like helps us do everything else, doesn't it? So what I can do is make this a cloner. So now I can just put S. Who or what? I almost hurt myself. Well, that's also the object too, right? And so, because hurt would be the verb, right? So it really is interesting how it takes place of both of those. So let's go ahead and we're going to continue, and we're going to make sure that this sounds correct. So you may pause here and do it independently or continue with Miss Sen. Number 2, we're going to do together. The cat licked themselves after eating dinner. So let's try the first one. The cat licked itself after eating dinner. The cat licked themselves after eating dinner. Well, who or what? The cat. Okay. So the cat is only what? One. Well, how could it be the plural themselves? Okay, because that would be more than one, right? So the best answer is what? Itself. Excellent. Now, here's what you're going to do. You're going to continue and you are going to do the rest independently. If you need to listen to Miss N, go for it. If not, you may go on your own. Okay, remember to do this in pencil, and you have to be honest. This time, I'm just going to read the whole sentence, but you have to go back, pause, and practice reading each of those, the reflexive pronouns, and circle the right one. Number 3, my dad bought himself, a hot dog at the game. Pause and mark your answer. 4, Lila and Raul did all of the work themselves. Pause. Number 5, did you both get yourselves some ice cream? Number 6, she watched myself, in the mirror across the dance floor. Number 7, we helped ourselves, yourselves, to the fresh lemonade. Pause and mark your answer. Number 8, the snake coiled itself, into a tight ball. Number 9, put yourself, themselves, in my position. Number 10, I find herself, myself, wanting to help you. All right, you ready to go back and make some corrections and make sure that you are honest? Because really you're only cheating yourself. And remember, we're going to complete in pencil. Now it's time to correct in pen. Let's see if we can identify the correct reflexive pronoun. Now remember, you're not going to go back and go, oh, when I look at my work, I better check to make sure my reflexive pronouns are make sense. No, what you're going to do is you're going to say, this sentence doesn't sound right. And why is that? Okay, that's really the goal here. All right, so let's continue. My dad bought himself, a hot dog at the gate. Well, of course it's himself because your dad is a male, right? So that makes sense. Good. Lila and Raul did all the work ourselves, themselves. Themselves. Okay? Did you both get yourselves some ice cream? Yourselves, because we're referring to both. There's two people here. That's plural. And because both means plural, right? And it just sounds, right? She watched myself in the mirror across the dance floor. Well, if I'm saying her, I better connect it to she. It's a female. We helped yourselves, to the fresh lemonade. Ourselves. Yes, because it's we. The snake coiled itself into a tight ball. Yeah, itself. We don't know if it's male or female. We do know, though, that the who or the what, the snake, is the subject of that sentence, right? Put themselves, in my position. Put yourself in my. And that's singular, isn't it? Excellent. I find myself, wanting to help you. Yeah, myself. Let's see if I can get my mouse working here. There we go. And because I only have I. So now remember, our targets were to be able to find the subject pronouns, reflective pronouns, reflexive, but really in the end what it's about at our 4th grade level is to be able to make sure sentences are sounding right, and when we read them and when we write, we need to be careful of that. All right, let's go on to the next activity. All right, once again, please make sure you put today's date. Did you follow the tutorial? Did you complete it independently? Your choice. And remember, what we're looking at as well to our target is really identifying the subject and object pronouns. And let's go ahead and remember just a reminder of subject pronouns and object. And remember, the subject is the who or the what. All right, so let's just do this as a review. Use a subject pronoun when replacing the subject of a sentence or a noun that follows a form of of the verb to be. Okay, those are like those linking verbs. Okay, use an object pronoun after an action verb or a preposition. And if you remember what a preposition is, it shows location, next to, on top of. Okay, right? In fact, I'll pull up that poster. All right, so here is that poster of prepositions: beside, behind, in, on, under. All right, so that's prepositions. All right, let's move that out of the way. All right, do not use reflexive pronoun in place of a personal pronoun. Do not add self or selves to a subject pronoun. Now that is a lot, isn't it? So really, in the end, what we're looking for is that you really understand subject and object pronouns. They're going to sound right. All right, this is a lot to remember. So basically at this level, what I'm expecting you to know is what a pronoun is. It's this I, you, he, she, we, they, right? Okay, that you need to know. Then I also need to know that you're using it properly when you're writing a sentence. You're not always going to remember reflexive, but as you get older, you're going to have to. But just to make sure that you understand what we're doing. All right, we're going to read each sentence. On the line, rewrite the sentence using correct subject and object pronouns. All right, so for instance, let's read the first one and do it together. I didn't realize it at first. My cousin is him. Think about that for a second. I didn't realize it at first, but my cousin is him. Is that the way people would talk? How would we say that sentence? I want you to pause, and then I want you to rewrite it the way you think it should sound. I didn't realize it at first, but my cousin is him. Pause and make the correction. All right, what'd you come up with? Did you get the same thing that Ascend did? I didn't realize it at first, comma, but my cousin is he. Now, as you can see, I'm using a conjunction. You've known how to use those, right? Okay. My cousin is he. That's how I would say that. So I need to make sure that I'm using correct subject and object. So here's where you're saying, well, Miss N, why does it matter? This is the part that it's going to matter because when you're writing, it's going to need to make sense. All right. So you need to rewrite numbers 4 and 5. You can just make corrections. All right. If you'd like to go on your own, please do so, or hang out and do the tutorial with Miss N. All right, here we go. Myself am very excited to see the movie. Myself am very excited to see the movie. Miss N can barely read that, so there is something wrong with that sentence. So make your correction and rewrite it. Pause and do your corrections, please. Number 3. Do you want to travel with we in the car? Do you want to travel with we in the car? Oh, I'm having a hard time reading these. So rewrite that one. Number 4. Them brought flowers in from the outside. Them brought flowers in from outside. Whew, another hard one. That one you don't have to rewrite. Just make the corrections. Number 5. It was her who scored the highest on the test. It was her who scored the highest on the test. Pause, make your corrections. You don't have to rewrite it. Just cross out the word where you think it doesn't make sense. Number 6. Itself was quite fluffy and very soft. Itself was quite fluffy and very soft. Go ahead and pause and mark your answer. Oh, this one you have to rewrite too. All right, Miss N's going to finish the tutorial video right here. We'll pick up the rest of the lesson in part 3. Thanks for staying focused and remembering what your learning targets are today. Bye-bye.